Ofure was only 10 years old when the river took everything from her. The evening sky above Ebeyoko was dark and restless, as if the heavens themselves sensed the tragedy that was about to unfold. The mighty Ofure River, feared and respected by every surrounding community, flowed with unusual anger that day. Its waters rose and fell like a living creature, restless and powerful. Inside a small wooden canoe sat Mr. and Mrs. Erabo with their only daughter, Ofure. They were on their way to visit relatives in their hometown. Travel in those days was difficult, and the river was the only path connecting villages. There were no mobile phones, no easy way to send messages across long distances. The river was life, and sometimes death. Mrs. Erabo held Ofure close to her chest as the wind brushed against them. "We will soon see your uncles and aunties," she said softly. "They have missed you so much." Ofure smiled. "Mama, will they like me?" Her father laughed gently. "They will love you. You are their blood." The boatman, however, looked uneasy. He stared at the darkening sky and then at the rough waters. "This river is angry today," he muttered. Before anyone could respond, a violent wave crashed against the canoe. The small boat shook dangerously. Another wave followed, stronger than the first. The canoe tilted. "Papa!" Ofure screamed. The river rose like a beast and swallowed them whole. Villagers searched through the night with lanterns and trembling hearts. Women cried openly by the riverbank. Men waded into the water again and again, but Ofure River gave nothing back. At dawn, a faint cry was heard near the river reeds. A group of fishermen rushed toward the sound and found Ofure tangled among floating wood from the broken canoe. She was unconscious, cold, and barely breathing. They carried her to the village and tried to revive her with warm water and herbs. By sunset, she opened her eyes. But her parents were never found. By morning, only a single floating slipper was found. Ebeyoko mourned in silence. With no means of communication, the elders gathered to decide how to inform the relatives of the dead couple. "There is no telephone in Ebeyoko," one elder said. "We must send messengers." 2 respected fishermen, Mensa and Adisa, volunteered. They had fished in Ofure River for more than 30 years and knew its ways better than anyone. "We will return quickly," Mensa assured them. The next morning, the 2 men paddled confidently into the river, but halfway through their journey, the calm surface turned wild. A whirlpool formed suddenly, spinning their canoe in circles. They shouted for help, but the river was merciless. Like the Eberubos, they vanished beneath the waters. Fear spread through Ebeyoko like wildfire. 2 tragedies from the same river could not be ordinary. The elders decided to consult the gods. Deep in the forest shrine, the chief priest entered a trance. When he finally spoke, his voice was heavy with dread. Ofure's mother was a water child. She was chosen to serve the river goddess. She disobeyed by marrying and bearing a child. The elders gasped. Now, the daughter must replace her. She must never marry or have children. No burial must be performed. When the elders returned and told the village, terror filled every heart. From that day, the people of Ebeyoko turned away from Ofure. Some believed she was cursed. Others feared the river would punish anyone who helped her. At 10 years old, she became invisible in her own village. Doors closed when she knocked. Mothers pulled their children away from her. She slept near abandoned huts and ate scraps when she found them. When hunger became unbearable, she went to the forest to pick wild fruits. That was how she survived. One afternoon, as she searched among trees, she heard a voice. "Hey, child, what are you doing here alone?" She turned and saw a woman standing at a distance. Her clothes were worn and her eyes carried years of loneliness. This was Nene Nosa. Ofure told her everything: the river, her parents, the village rejection. Nene Nosa's eyes softened. "Come with me," she said. "You will live with me." For the first time in years, hope returned to Ofure's heart. She believed her suffering was finally over, but the woman who rescued her became her new prison. Nenenosa had been declared an outcast many years earlier after her husband and only son died on the same day. She had lived in bitterness and isolation for over 20 years. That pain hardened her heart. Ofure became her servant. She fetched water, cooked, farmed, cleaned, and ran errands endlessly. Some days, after exhausting labor, she was given no food.
Years passed. At 18, Ofure had grown into a beautiful young woman, but her eyes were tired and broken. One night, after severe punishment, she remembered her parents and the river that took them. Overwhelmed by grief, she walked to Ofure River. Tears streamed down her face as she cried out, "You took my parents. Take me too. I have nothing left." The water suddenly glowed. The river parted gently, and a beautiful mermaid rose from its depths. "Daughter of the goddess," she said. Ofure trembled in fear. "You are royalty of the river." Ofure shook her head. "I am not a queen. Queens are not mocked and treated like slaves." "You are a queen by birth," the mermaid replied. "Ask for anything, and it shall be given. But you must never marry or bear children. If you disobey, you will end like your parents." Blinded by pain and desperation, Ofure did not think deeply. "I want power, wealth, and respect." "It is done," the mermaid said. "Remember me every 7 days." She disappeared into the water. From that day, Ofure's life changed completely. Opportunities opened mysteriously. Wealth flowed to her. People who once avoided her now bowed before her. She became admired and respected across Ebeyoko. Yet, her heart remained empty. At 24, she watched her friends get married while she stood alone. Suitors came, but fear controlled her. The memory of her parents' fate haunted her. Each night she cried herself to sleep. Despite all she had, she was deeply unhappy. One day, Christian missionaries arrived in Ebeyoko to preach the gospel. "Jesus sets captives free," one of them declared. Their words pierced her heart. After the preaching, she went to them and told her story: the river, the mermaid, the covenant. They listened carefully. "Christ is greater than every spirit," one missionary said gently. "He can break every chain." They prayed with her. As she prayed, a strange peace entered her heart. For the first time since childhood, she felt truly free. When the missionaries prepared to leave the village, Ofure made a life-changing decision. "Please take me with you. I want to serve God." They agreed. That morning, she walked away from Ebeyoko, the village of her pain. She looked back once, then continued forward. She had lost her parents to the river, but she had found her destiny in freedom. No chain is stronger than faith.